get online because it's so insane. But Kimber stuck with it. I told you we would not be defeated by technology, and we were not.
That's correct.
So, you guys, I want you to welcome Kimber with Home Sweetgrass Home Staging. I keep getting it wrong because it's her Instagram name. So we'll give you everywhere you can follow her on social media and link up with her at the end. But I want to say welcome, Kimber. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for doing it. It's a great idea.
And thank you so much for doing it. I know that right now, it's shocking what our market is doing, but we're still having people sell homes, as you know,
Mhm.
and they're still like, I mean, like nonstop. I'm seeing listings go up, but just even how I came to you and asked, hey, what do I need to do to make my listing look really great? And even for sellers out there. So this is great for agents, for people who are looking to sell their home. If you're tuning in, here are some tips. We're going to ask Kimber some questions. You also can like ask us some questions and we can answer those as well. But Kimber, can you tell us kind of some of your thoughts on what people should be doing, some key things that you've seen? And then after that, but you know what? Let me tell everybody who Kimber is, guys, because she's got a pretty impressive resume. So Kimber, you're like still a licensed RN.
That's correct. I've been an RN for 24 years. I could go to work tomorrow if I wanted to.
That is absolutely
Once
amazing.
a nurse, always a nurse. That's one thing
I
about
love
nursing.
that. So if something happens and we're out and I just so happen to pass out, you can help me out.
That is correct. Yes, I can.
That is great. And so then you've also been a journalist.
That's correct. I went to school first for journalism, and I only did it for about a year. Realized I was poor, didn't want to be poor for my whole life. Having a 4-year degree, and I got out of that. So, but
That's
yeah, I used to be a journalist. I love to write.
that's fantastic. So if you know what's funny is those two things are both interesting jobs for the time we're living in right now.
True,
It's
true.
like, I can only imagine what your thoughts are.
Yeah,
A show for another day.
yeah, that's correct.
But
I
I want
definitely have an opinion about that.
yes. Don't we all? Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to ask you because, like I said, you're an expert in this. So, what do you think are some of the things that we can do as realtors, as people who are looking to sell their home and are selling their home, putting it on the market right now, amidst
Right.
all of this?
Well, like the more you can do to make your house be appealing, the better it is, and that's good whether the market is good or bad, or we're in the midst of a crisis. So I like to start off with curb appeal because I've been in a lot of homes that have been remodeled to the nines,
Yeah.
but it seems like curb appeal has been sort of forgotten about. So,
Oh, wow.
curb appeal is really important because you drive past the house and you may decide that you don't like the way it looks, even though you've seen pictures on the inside and it might look great. So curb appeal is really important. And this is going to sound silly, but I start curb appeal with looking at the mailbox. Your mailbox should be
Really?
not falling over, not missing paint, not
Okay.
faded paint, missing numbers, the whole 9 yards. So consider having your mailbox look nice. You can put mulch around it, or pine straw, or even flowers, but just make it look pretty because there's many areas of your house that could be staged, not just the inside. So that's one thing. And then, of course, you have to maintain your yard. You can't have a jungle all over the place. So cut your grass.
Okay.
We're in spring, so people should be outside cutting their grass, doing yard work. That's very important. Weed and feed is important right now to make sure that
Yeah.
your weeds don't take over the yard. Um, Go ahead. You going to say something?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, it's funny that you say about the mailbox because my one of my mailboxes at one of my listings, the flag was coming off, and I'm like, "We gotta order a new flag." So I'm glad you said that because
Yeah.
most people don't think that it really matters. It's like, it's a mailbox. So that's huge. So, yeah, continue
Mhm.
on. Like, thank God, check.
Yeah. So, and then if you have any, areas in your yard that have flower beds or whatever, always make that nice and fresh with mulch or pine straw. That's really important. And have, plant flowers if you can. We can't all get to Lowe's or Home Depot right now, but it's something that you can at least take weeds out of those
Okay.
areas and, keep them looking fresh. You also want to make sure that your bushes are trimmed. There are certain guidelines for trimming bushes at different times of the year, so now is not always the time to trim certain bushes, but you can go on Google and just find out when it's time to prune certain bushes. Also, it's really important to have a nice looking front door. You
Ah,
might have a beautiful house, but your door may be, peeling in paint, or maybe it's covered in pollen.
yeah,
That's an easy fix. You take the pollen off, power wash your house, and then you slap a new coat of paint on there, and it looks amazing.
that's
And a
awesome.
lot of buyers like red doors. Now, red may not be your favorite color, and that's fine if you don't like red, but a lot of buyers are attracted to a red door.
Do you know why
So just
that
make
is?
sure you're sorry.
Do you know why that is?
No, I'm not sure actually. I
That's
really don't know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Red
Um,
doors.
yes. I also know that red in the kitchen, even though it's not advisable when your house is on the market because it's a very bold color, stimulates the appetite.
Okay.
So it's a comforting color in your home as you're living in it, but whenever you put it on the market, it's probably best to change that color.
Okay.
Um, the other thing too is that it doesn't take long for shutters to get faded in the South Carolina sun. So
Mm,
it's a good idea and you can take them off pretty easily. You put them on a horse and you can just spray paint your shutters. It's quick. You can do it in outside or in your garage as long as it's well ventilated and freshen up your shutters. So that's a really good idea that also helps with curb appeal. And then I'm a big, big believer in power washing everything. I love to power wash because it's
okay.
instantaneous what it does. So you can power wash any solid surface.
Okay.
And I am going to put this disclaimer out there. It's best not to get up on a ladder and power wash. Leave that for the experts because if you fall off a ladder, you're in trouble. Um, but you can power wash your driveway, your sidewalk, the any hard surface, like on the first floor, wherever you can reach whenever you're, on the ground. So that's important too. So, and then if you want to hire a local company, a landscaping company, and you have pine straw or needles or leaves on your roof, they can come and blow off and also get the stuff out of your shutters.
Oh, that's
So if
great.
you do all of that, you really can't go wrong. And it really is a lot of sweat equity. It doesn't cost a lot if you're going to be doing stuff yourself. But I really advocate finding a professional who's licensed, bonded, and insured to get up on a ladder and do things on your
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So now let me ask you this. When you're going into a home and you're looking at like what things need to be changed, what people need to take down, this is always a topic of conversation between like
roof.
definitely between us realtors. Like what should we be taking down? What should our sellers leave up? The emotional things, all of that. How do you as a home stager, what are your thoughts on that? Like what are the main things that people should do?
Well, it's not a popular belief, and a lot of people don't really understand this. And I do have an example. Remind me to tell you about it if I forget it. But it's good to depersonalize. When
Okay.
you're selling your house, you're not living in your house the same way that you do when you're selling it as when you're just living in it.
Okay.
When you're living in it, yes, have all the fun photos and family photos and everything that you can have that make you feel good. But when it's on the market, you want to make your house feel like the buyer's house. They don't want to feel like they're in your house. They want to feel like they're in their house, their future house. So it really is best to take down all the family photos, anything that has an emotional attachment, just kind of take it down. And the other thing too is um, I see this a lot. If you list your house in December and it's decorated for Christmas, that's okay. But you don't want to be viewing the house in May and be looking at a Christmas tree.
Oh,
So,
true.
the realtor or somebody needs to go out there and take new pictures after they've taken the Christmas stuff down.
Okay, that's actually a really good tip. Pro tip, everybody, you guys, that's a pro. And I've actually, yeah, I've seen those. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that it may slip your mind, but it definitely should be,
Hmm.
know that if you are, especially for now, like where we are, if some homes are staying on the market because of, like what we're dealing with, if
Hmm.
we get to that point where we're in those months, we definitely want to be looking at taking that down. That's a really great tip. So everybody write that one down. If you're listening, you're an agent, pro tip right from Kimber. So Kimber, now the other thing is you actually go in when you stage a home, you do what is it? Do you do three areas of the home? Is that right? Or four?
Well, I look at the entire house.
Okay.
And I focus on basically on the entire home, but I'm there for up to 2 hours on the
Okay.
consultation.
Okay, and then what do you feel like the main rooms for staging are important? Like if you know you can't, like it's not in the budget to do the whole home for somebody, what are the main rooms that you think that everybody should stage?
Right. The main rooms are the living room and or great room,
Okay.
kitchen, which is usually just accessories and counters, dining room. You would be surprised, but about 85% of buyers want to see a dining room staged, even though it's usually just a dining room table. It does add ambiance. And then master bedroom and master bath. So those are the areas that really need to be focused on staging.
Okay. That sounds great. And now, Kimber, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you,
Mhm.
whether it's a realtor or somebody that's thinking about listing their home, what would they need to do?
I mean, they could reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook or just call me. And then I come out to the house. I give a 2 hour consultation, and I go over some things. I stage homes in all areas and
Yeah.
all kinds of conditions, and whether there's it's vacant or it's fully furnished. That also. So there's different things that I can do based on what I'm dealing with.
With what you're seeing now with homes being more like virtual because we're it's like everybody's getting the 3D tours. Do you feel like
Mhm.
it's more important now than ever to have the home stage, especially for those virtual tours so people can kind of get a feel of the dimensions, like, going into the home and looking at all of that?
Yes, I absolutely think, however you do staging, I think it's an important attribute to
Right.
consider because it is marketing. And a couple of things to keep in mind. A vacant space always shows smaller than a space with a furniture in it.
Oh
It
wow. Okay.
might seem like it's the opposite, but furniture actually makes a room look larger. And
Right.
when you are putting your house on the market, the last thing you want to do is minimize its potential. You want to maximize the house's potential. And
Yes.
one of the ways that you do that is by creating space. And so you want to make the space look as large as it can. One of the ways you do that is furniture,
Okay.
accessories.
So now, Kimber, with everybody being stuck in home, like everybody is like trying to figure out things that they can do. What are some little things that people can do around their homes to like do little changes that make, interior design a little bit more fun? What are some
Mhm.
things that you think that they can do?
Well, I'm not sure if these are actually fun things to do, but some of them are fun things. But um, these are things that I think tend to get neglected.
Okay.
And we maybe we have some more time on our hands right now, so I'm focusing on sort of those things. But I'll get
Okay.
to a few fun things. But first of all, I'd like to say, if you open up your closets anywhere in the house, chances are they're overflowing with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good idea just to declutter your closets. And you may not be able to take them to donation centers right now, but you can at least put things in bags and then store it in your laundry room or maybe in your garage and just take it whenever we can get out and get to places.
And if I can
Um,
just do a little plug here, if you are somebody who has a teenager that is looking to get rid of their some of their clothes, and you've got some gently worn clothing that you can sanitize, I'm actually working with Richland 2 School District. They are actually looking for clothes for their closets and hygiene materials. So, like Kimber said, if you are decluttering, then definitely let me know. I actually have a page on my website, livincolumbiasc.com, called Cool Closets. If you go to that tab and link, you can go and you can sign up for me to pick up those clothing items. Thanks, Kimber.
that's awesome. That's an awesome cause. That's awesome. Good. And I do know that Goodwill right now is not accepting anything that has fabric on it.
Okay.
But but you can take all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing too is, when people come through your house, they're going to look through drawers. They want to see how big they are. They want to see how deep they are. So don't forget about cleaning out your drawers, especially your junk drawer, because everybody has one.
Yes.
So clean out the drawers and make sure that they're as organized as possible. Just get rid of all that stuff. You can probably throw away 50% of
Yes. Oh, I'm
it.
sure.
Same thing goes for your pantry. If
Yeah.
you have a pantry, declutter that as much as possible. And then sometimes, you might look around and say, I like the way this room looks anymore. So you can get out your paint if you happen to have paint stored in your garage or somewhere, maybe an outdoor shed, something, and you can just start painting and you can play around with different colors. So that's something that you can do that takes up a pretty good amount of time, and that's a little bit creative, and it's fun to do. I like to paint. I used to not like it as much as I do now, but
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long that I can cut in now, and I'm a pretty good painter,
That's
so I
actually
enjoy
the
that.
part that I hate the most is the cutting in. It is
Yeah, it's
literally
definitely a skill.
yes, it is such a skill. My dad is a contractor, and you got to meet him. But yeah, like when
Mhm.
worked with him a couple of times, he used to let me cut in, and then he basically rejected me. I guess I didn't do a good job, and he fired me. So
Yeah,
yes, I'm fired from cutting in, and my like tool belt was revoked until further notice. So maybe I'll get it back in 2020. We'll see. But
that's
those are
yeah.
all really, really, really good tips. Now, let me ask you this. So what are the trends right now that you absolutely love that you're seeing in like in homes right now? What is the thing that you
Mm.
are
Well, I think I like things that are organic and sort of simple, not too frou-frou.
loving? Okay.
Although it seems like people are getting away from, or they've gotten away from displaying flowers. But I think if you're going to be living in a house and your house is on the market, I think a fresh bouquet of flowers is so beautiful and so pretty. But you don't have to have flowers. You can have something green and organic.
So greenery
That's
is good.
yes, greenery is definitely good.
Okay. So all you plant people, you've got license here with
That
Kimber.
that's correct. All right, and it's also good for your environment because it puts oxygen into the air and it helps you with breathing, so that's good too.
So is there a specific paint color that right now that you think is great for people to be using for staging? Is it one that you talked to me about that we use that is wonderful?
Yeah, I really do like that. In fact, it's behind me in the office here. It's
Nice.
called, it's a Sherwin-Williams color. I'm just partial to them. You can use any brand, but it's Sherwin-Williams Realist Beige.
Realist
And
beige.
yes, and it depends on the light. Paint colors change with lighting. So sometimes it looks a little beigey, sometimes it looks a little gray, sometimes it looks a little tan or like taupe. But it's a good neutral color that I think is nice and modern, and it just fits in well with a lot of decor.
That's awesome. Now, there was one thing that was like such a pro tip when you came to look at one of my listings, and I thought I was like, that is absolutely pretty amazing. I never had thought about that, and it was when you said about what color you should paint the whole house and about making it look having that new construction feel. Can you tell people a little bit more about that and the psyche behind it?
Well, new homes are usually painted one color throughout.
Yeah,
So if you can do a nice, bright, and modern looking color like realist beige throughout the entire house, it makes the house appear to be less old and a little bit more modern. So I
that
just think it appeals to a lot of people.
and I can vouch for that happened. It does look we used it, it looks amazing. So yeah,
Good.
I think that's really, really great. It was very, very great pro tip.
Oh,
So
good.
now
Thank
here's the fun part of
you.
it. Are you more of a mid-century modern or traditional when it comes to like furniture and things like that?
I have to lean a little bit more towards traditional, but a little bit of mid-century modern isn't bad, but I'm pretty particular about the
Okay.
different pieces. I don't like all of it.
Right. You don't like
Um,
you like the thin part? Are you like the more like the ones that are more substantial kind of feeling?
yeah, I want the ones that are a little bit more substantial.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love modern architecture, but I don't
Okay.
always like modern furniture, but I like some of it. So I'm I'm kind of all over the place.
So my husband actually told me to ask you this. This is a legit question from Kelly Nash. He said to ask you. He has these leather recliners, and
Mhm,
I don't like them. He thinks I don't like them because they're leather. That's not true. I don't like them because I feel like they're big. And
mhm,
I like a little bit of mid-century modern with Art Deco, and I am for the more substantial pieces as
mhm,
well. But I would definitely say I'm more of a contemporary feel with a little bit of, like I said, Art Deco, maybe a twinge of global living here and there. But he
mhm.
told me, is there some medium? Is there some way to marriage our lives? I just have
Well,
that opinion.
I mean, I guess there is, but without seeing it, it would be hard for me to tell you what I would recommend. I'd have to
So
probably
you and your husband are gonna have to come over.
yeah,
That's what's gonna have to happen.
definitely.
And
Without
speaking
his
of
with
your
pants on.
I was gonna say, so speaking of your husband, I actually posted something, I think it was yesterday, I have no concept of time, about the videos and how people were like working from home and like showing up on video and what was happening. And so Kimber has experienced it today. I want to thank her husband first off for helping us get our act together with this technology. But can you share that story?
Yeah, it's so funny. So when we were trying to do Facebook Live, it wasn't working, and I'm definitely a neophyte when it comes to all this technology stuff. And he had gotten home from work, and I called him to come over, and I said, "Can you help me with this?" I said, "I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or something I can do that, to help the process." And I looked over, and he was in his underwear. I started laughing, and I said, "Oh my gosh, she goes live. You're going to be on there on your underwear. Do you want people to see you like that?"
Um,
And I said, "You better get out of here." It was really funny.
Thankfully, we didn't go live the way we were planning to, and we were able to get the kinks out before we
Right.
exposed your husband to the world and went viral. So he was saved. He was saved today.
And he was looking like this. It was so funny. We're both looking like, total idiots. It was funny.
There's so much happening with like everybody being home. It is like a constant. It's almost like inevitable that will happen.
Yeah,
So, but another day saved. Somebody saved from going viral. But you will always have the memory.
that's that's right.
Well, Kimber, thank you so much for doing this. Like, seriously, I mean, with all like the technology and everything, all the trouble, you still stuck with it, and I appreciate you for that.
Well,
So,
thank you.
but I want everybody to know where they can reach you at. So, on your, what's your Instagram handle? Is it at Kimber Stages Home?
It's Kimber Home Stages.
Okay,
And then Facebook is Sweetgrass Home Staging.
okay.
And then my good old telephone number is 803-550-6543. That's pretty easy to remember.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, all right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Candidly COVID. Thank you, Kimber, for being here. And you
Thank
guys
you.
get in touch with Kimber. She's definitely amazing at what she does. I can vouch for that. So, all
Thank
you realtors out there, hope you jotted down her number and hope you jot down some of these tips as we are trying to get these homes sold for our clients who we love so much. So,
you.
we'll see you guys next time. So, next time on Candidly COVID will be Monday. I'm going to have Travis Wright from Mortgage Network. He's going to be talking about some of the things going on right now with everything. And you'd be surprised that people are still buying homes because it's still a really good market for us. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.